Good evening, good evening. It's great you made this day. Good evening to you. Hello, everyone. I'm Tupperware Pete, and tonight I'm going to make a steak and mushroom casserole in my Tupperware pressure cooker. Now, you've heard me say this before. Any soup, stew, stock, curry, or casserole can be cooked in the Tupperware pressure cooker in 20 to 30 minutes, and it's gonna taste like your slow cookers cooked it for 6 hours, right? It's absolutely brilliant. It operates on the efficiency of a microwave oven, but all the health benefits of actually pressure cooking your food. So it locks in the flavour, it locks in the nutrients, and it locks in the colour as well, right? So what we're going to do is, we've got, I don't know what we're doing. We're going to start off with some onion. Now, I do have, let me move this over here. I do have in my Tupperware onion keeper and garlic keeper, I do have some onion. But then I realised, oh, hang on a minute. I normally use half an onion just for a meal here and there, and the other half I normally pop in a Tupperware container and pop it into the fridge. So guess what I have discovered? I opened up my fridge, and yes, I had half a red onion in my Tupperware Eco Plus clear bowl, and I've got another white onion in my Tupperware Clearmate. I haven't bought sandwich wrap in almost 30 years. Imagine how much money I've saved, and imagine how much landfill I've saved, right? So we've got this in here. I'm going to use my little, you know what it's called, don't you? Everybody sing along. No need to ask, it's a smooth operator. It is a smooth operator. Smooth operator. Let's pop this in here, and we are just going to blitz this, baby. There we go, and there we go. Oh, we've got things happening all over the place here. All right, there we go. We've got some onion that we've just blitzed up into that, right? So we're just going to pop that straight into there. Let's throw in this other. Now let's use this red onion as well. Let's do a mix of onions. We'll do some red onion and we'll do some white onion. Why not? We've got that into there. And let's just... So, one pull of the cord is 288 knife chops. How amazing is that? You will have people arguing over whose turn it is to chop the onions. I want to go. Can I chop the onions? No, you did it last night. Let me. So you've got those into there. Let's grab a Tupperware spatula. And we will just get the rest of that out of there. Easy as. We've got that into there. What we've got in here is my garlic keeper. Now, I could have popped the garlic in the chopper, but what I wanted to show you was the Tupperware garlic press. I actually keep mine when it's washed up properly, and I'm wearing... Am I the only one that washes the dishes without their glasses, and then when you put your glasses on, you think, who washed this up? Oh, that's right, I live alone. So what we're going to do is, I wanted to show you this garlic crusher, right? So what we're going to do is, it will trim, peel, and mince your garlic all in the one piece, right? So all you have to do is, that's going to go down onto there. That takes the top off of that. We're going to pop that away. We will pop this into here, and we will just crush that down. That peels our garlic, right? So all you have to do is, can you see this? That skin just comes straight off, and then you'll, you just pop this into here, and that just crushes that through. There's nothing better than fresh garlic. Preservative-free, free of acidity regulator, and it has a totally different flavour, fresh garlic. It's gorgeous, right? So we'll just pop that over to there. Let's move this garlic keeper out of the way. That's our onion and our garlic. Now what we're going to do is, if I can, we are going to flour up in our, you know what this is called, don't you? It's a meat marinator! This is a meat marinator! It is a meat marinator! Yeah! So, actually, did you know the palm of your hand is how you open the meat marinator? It's called a Tupperware seasoned serve. And most people do this and they struggle to open it and they end up with marinade all down their pants. the palm of your hand in the center, push down as you lift up the corner. That releases the seal, and that way it's a lot easier to open up, right? So what we got in here, I have got roughly 500 grams in my Tupperware freezer container. I know it's a freezer container because I've got snowflakes down the side, right? I've got my beef. Let's throw that straight into here. Let's pop this over to there. Let's grab some in my cereal container. I'm keeping my flour because it's slimline. So yeah, I've actually got about 15 of these because they're slim, but because they're quite deep, if you've got a deep shelf, these are awesome. They're supposed to be for cereal. Well, people use them for cereal. I use mine for pasta and rice and flour and self-raising flour and all of that, right? So all I'm going to do is just throw in a couple of tablespoons of this flour. Right, then all I'm going to do is salt and pepper. I've just got some, actually, you know what, let's use a teaspoon. I'm just going to use half a teaspoon of salt. I've got my half a teaspoon of cracked black pepper. Let's do a whole teaspoon. And I'm also going to, while I'm here, I've got some cayenne pepper. I love cayenne pepper because it gives it that heat, but it's not an irritant like chili. So, great for your blood. I don't mind a bit of heat, so I'm going to throw in half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, right? You can leave that out. That's entirely up to you, right? All we're going to do now is, there's our beef, and now we've got our flavourings. You can add in whatever flavourings that you like. Let's pop the top on. You just run your thumbs around the side. Now, if you've got a cheap cut of meat, just do that while you're watching whatever you're watching. And that'll turn a cheap cut of meat into a beautiful tender cut of meat, right? And so you can just, if you're marinating, every time you open up the fridge, just flip it over upside down, Miss Jane. And then because of the little knobbly bits, the marinade goes under the meat, so you get an even marination. If you have a Christmas cake or a bar cake, in the summertime it won't sweat because the airflow happens underneath those little knobbly bits. You can fill this with hot water and Epsom salts, and then you have a beautiful foot massager at the end of a hard day. So you do need 3 of these. You need one for your meat, one for your sweets, and one for your feet. All right? Remember, when you purchase a business account with Tupperware, you do get 15 to 25% discount off everything. And you get a 15 to 25% earning capacity, right? So we've got those into here. Hopefully that's coated beautifully. Look at that. How awesome is that, right? So all we're going to do is just pop that straight into here. There's our beef, coated perfectly. So Tupperware do recommend when you are cooking with meat in the Tupperware pressure cooker, pop the meat in first and then pop everything around, like on top of it. You don't really cook, you just assemble, right? So if you are, especially with the pressure cooker, and there's a product called the Micro Pro Grill, they do recommend for optimum flavour and for optimum food results, coating your beef or your chicken or whatever in your flour works like a treat, right? So we've got those into there. Then what we've got, look at that. How awesome is that? How delicious. That's just that meat with our onion and our garlic. Then what we're going to do in our big, no need to ask, it's a smooth choperator. It is a smooth choperator. Smooth choperator. Let's use a carrot. Oh, I could have washed this beforehand. Hang on a minute, bear with me. Just talk amongst yourselves just for a moment. And what we will do is, we will just grab this and we will grab just a bit of a chopping board. And we've just grabbed, luckily Tupperware do knives. And we've got this in here and we will just chop this up into chunks. Actually, that's a great segue. If you allow the angle of the knife to do the work for you, it will be, not only will it be silent when you're chopping your veggies, it'll be so much easier on your wrist. So all I'm going to do is throw our carrot into there. Let's move this out of the way. And then we just want a rough chop. So there's our rough chop of our carrot. I mean, you can stand it with a knife if you like, but Why would you when you've got the supersonic chopper? Because when you're using it, it's a zero carbon footprint handheld blender. You can do it wherever you are, even in the camper van, the caravan, when you're going camping by the campfire, you can just pull the cord, prep your veggies, and you can make up your own soups and stews and cowboy caviar and whatever it is that you like to do, right? So let's move that out the way. Let's grab in here. Oh, look, I've got 2 parsnips. So let's do the same thing here. Let's just, oh, where's that chopping board? Quick, careful cutting. There we go. Let's pop that over there. Yeet. Let's just grab those. Now, these parsnips, these have been in my VentSmart container for about 4, 5, 6 weeks, somewhere like that. I forget, because the VentSmarts literally make your fruits and vegetables last 3 to 5 times longer than just sitting in a plastic bag at the bottom of your fridge, right? Or in the crisper, right? So we've got our parsnips. Let's just whack in some parsnips. Pop the top on. It's just like a little bayonet light bulb. Oh, make sure that that's upright properly. What we will do is let's just clear this bench down. There we go. And we will. That's 8 pulls of the cord. Will that be enough? No, parsnips might need a little bit more. So we don't want too much, chunky mama. We want it to be a few more. There we go. That's better. Can we see that parsnip? Look at that. We'll just pop that onto the top. Then what we're going to do is, so that's our carrot, that's our parsnip. We could possibly pop it all in at the same time, but what I wanted to show you was just how your different vegetables show up in there, all right? So what we will do is grab, I do have a sweet potato as well. Shall we use a sweet potato? I'm not going to peel this sweet potato at all. So what we're going to do is we are just going to throw in a bit of this sweet potato. Not much, just maybe half a sweet potato or something, right? And we will just, maybe just 3. And let's chop up. Some sweet potato. There we go. That's perfect. That's like an evenly rough chop into there. So we'll just throw that sweet potato into there. Sweet potato, parsnip, beef, onion, garlic, a little bit of carrot. I also like throwing in celery because there's a lot of moisture in the celery and a lot of flavour. So let's use some of this celery. Let's grab this chopping board back. And we will, celery, Mr. Celery, Mr. Celery. Let's grab our knife. And we will, actually, we won't use the supersonic chopper. Let's just slice this up. Let's just do this. Leaves and all. And we will just grab, as little or as much as you like. Pop that back into there. There we go. And we'll just use this as our little bench scraper. This is a Tupperware Mastro knife as well. This one here is the, what's it called? It's called a vegetable cleaver. I like it because it doubles as your bench scraper at this side here, and it's going to protect, you're not going to blunt your blade when you use this side as your bench scraper. So you can save on the amount of tools that you've got in the kitchen. How easy is that? So we've got those into there. So this here, that's our beef, our carrot, our celery, our onion, our sweet potato, and our parsnip. I did say I was doing a steak and mushroom casserole, didn't I? I need some mushrooms. Now, if you've been watching, you would know that, let's just wipe this bench down. You would know. I did have an internet shopping mishap where I ordered 28 portobello mushrooms or 24 portobello mushrooms. So let's chop up some of these. And I've been trying to be creative, right? And these have been in my fridge. I kid you not. These have been in my fridge for over 4 weeks. Nothing wrong with them. There's a little bit of condensation into there because that was down on the bottom. But there's literally 4 weeks. Nothing wrong with them. So what we're going to do is just going to tear these up, pop them into there. We will do a rough chop into here as well. Let's pop that over there. So let's pop this over here. Oh, yummo. I wonder if that's... Okay, look at this. Look at that. How easy is that? Let's pop them into there. Let's just grab some of these. Celery, Mr. Celery. All right. We've got that happening there. And actually, you know what? I've got them. Let's do another couple of mushrooms. Why not? Because I've got them. And after all, it's a steak and mushroom casserole. So the hero is the mushroom. I need a hero. I need a mushroom hero to the end of the night. Let's do this. Actually, that'd make a great TikTok, wouldn't it? All right. Let's pop this in here. Let's do this. Oh yeah, perfect. There's the rest of our mushrooms. We've got those into there. Let's pop them into there. And okay, there we go. So we're going to top that with that. Now, when you are cooking, it doesn't matter whether you're doing mashed potatoes into here, vegetables, a chicken, a silver side, a pot roast, pulled pork. It doesn't matter what you're doing. You do need a minimum of 150 mils of water. And I know that because when you lose the instruction booklet, all the instructions are on the inside here. So this will tell me, there it is, a minimum 150 mils of water. So what I've got in my Tupperware micro cook pitcher, I've measured up 150 mils is like half a cup plus a tablespoon, right? So we've got those into there. Even though that beef has been coated with flour, I am going to just a teaspoon of corn flour in that water, I reckon, will be beautiful. Not much, just a teaspoon. And we will just make that up into there. We'll add that in with that. I'm not going to make it into a paste. It's just going to be like a cloudy liquid. And I'm just going to pour that straight over the top. That's going to help thicken it up beautifully. That's plenty of water. Do not be tempted to throw in more water. Don't sit back and go, oh, hang on. That's not going to cook. That needs more liquid. You'd be surprised how much liquid comes out of all of those vegetables, right? So what we're going to do is, let's pop that. All you have to do is you grab this arrow. See the arrow here? And there's an arrow here. And can you see? This tells you, when you line up the arrows with the base, you turn it that way to pop your top off. You turn it that way to pop your top on, right? So what we're going to do is line up, find the arrow on the base, find out that arrow on the base, give that a bit of a twist. Instead of your crock pot being on for 4 hours or your slow cooker being on for 6 hours, we are going to now pop this into the microwave oven for, well, I'm going to pop it in for the full 30 minutes, right? And it's going to taste like it's been slow cooked for 6-8 hours, right? So let's pop that on for 30 minutes. While that's in there, I mean, I could end the video now, but I did go to the butcher and I've got a whole bunch of meat. So just bear with me and I'm going to go and grab my meat and I'll show you the freezer containers, all right? And what I might even do is, I might show you how I freeze in the Tupperware silicone. So just bear with me just for a moment. I went to the butcher, there was a lot on sale, and I thought, you know what? I haven't been to the butcher in ages. And it was literally, there was a lot that was on sale, right? So you can take your Clearmates to the butcher, and you can bring home your meat that way. I didn't do that because I wasn't expecting all the meat to be on sale. So what I've got in here, let's grab our Tupperware scissors. Let's move this out the way. I've got some mince. I've got chicken breast was $7.99 a kilo. You can't go wrong, right? So I got them to dice it for me. We'll put some of that away. I've got some beef, more diced beef into here. So what we'll do is, let me show you. These are your Tupperware freezer containers. You know they're specifically for the freezer. Actually, I think Tupperware are the only people in the world that do containers specifically for the freezer. And you know they're for the freezer because, see, can you see the little snowflakes? That reminds you they are for the freezer. You can pop them in the pantry because they are a proper airtight seal, and you can pop them in the refrigerator because they are a proper airtight seal, right? So all I'm going to do is just grab. I got the butcher to just pop them all into 500 gram lots for me. So all I'm going to do is this. Can you see what I'm doing here? I don't want to freeze it into that for a number of reasons, right? If you freeze that as a big lump, the inside is going to be still not frozen while the outside is frozen. That's not healthy, right? And when you defrost it, it's like a big ball. Plus, this bag is not going to prevent freezer burn, whereas the Tupperware one will, right? So I'm just going to pop this seal onto here. That's a jam-packed 500 grams. But you get the idea. So now, you know what I can do? You can, if you wanted to, and I wasn't prepared for this part, but I normally use a whiteboard marker. I've got a silicone bag. I've got one of these silicone bags filled with whiteboard markers. And do you think I know where it is off the top of my head? No, I don't. But that's okay. I don't need to, because I can mark that at a later date, right? So we've got those into there. Then in here, I love it. Like when the butcher has a sale, grab what you can, right? So let's just do this. I'm going to pop this into here. I very rarely eat meat, which is why if you have a look at my YouTube channel, you will know, because I'm very rarely cooking with the meat. But when it's on sale, I definitely grab as like what I can, right? So let's do this. I have got my chicken breast in here. Let's move that out of the way. I've got chicken breast. So all I'm going to do is grab my... There's always someone that's going to say, don't use that for raw chicken. So all I'm going to do is grab my Tupperware, and I'm just going to fill this up. Like I said, chicken breast was $7.99 a kilo. So I got them to dice it up for me just into like curry cubes, right? So all I'm going to do is just freeze this up into my little bits. Right, so that's one lot of chicken. Now, you can freeze your chicken in your silicone bags as well, or any of your meat, because these go into the freezer as well as the oven and the microwave. So I can just pop in my chicken straight into there, and I can freeze whatever size I think is great for a portion of a meal. You can seal that through. I can then remove the air out of there, and there's my... I've got a chicken. Let's pop some more in. So, can you see now? That's taking up that much space. That's taking up that much space. So, it depends on how much space you've got in your freezer as to which product's going to suit you the best. Let's just throw in some more of this chicken breast. Throw that into there. And that's probably going to be just a little portion just for me for a little meal. Right? But if I'm doing it, if I'm cooking up if I'm having a cooking day, I might want to have 500 grams of diced chicken breast. And I know that this is roughly 500 grams because on the bottom of it tells me that's 450 mils, which is roughly, give or take, 500 grams roughly. So I know that 500 grams of mince will fit into there perfectly. So let's do that. Let's do this into here. Let's seal this up into here. I'm now going to grab my whiteboard markers. I'm going to label these up. And I love it. I very rarely see chicken breast for $7.99 a kilo. Couldn't believe it. I said, can you size that up? I said, sure. Pop that over there. Let's give this a bit of a wipe down. Let's pop this over here. Let's pop that into the machine. We will now freeze this. I've now got... That's my meat. That will last me for the next 3 months, right? I've got more meat. So I've got... There's my 2 containers of my silicone bags, or I've got my 2 containers of my freezer keepers. Make sure you give me a like and a follow and a subscribe, because what I'm going to do now is end this live, I will take photos of my pressure cooker and I'll pop them up onto all of my social media platform. It doesn't matter which platform you use. I'm Tupperware Pete everywhere. And in the meantime, you know what you need to do, don't you? Forget your troubles and get happy. Dance your cares away. Shout out and get happy. I'll see you all another day. Thank you all for watching, everybody. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye.